important teaching and then have them practice it. Because Wilson has not been very successful in the schools because A, it's not implemented right. Teachers still pronounce the sounds wrong. Some have an open hand, some has a closed hand. And I go into schools in May and those basic skills children are still not able to blend the last sound because it hasn't been implemented correctly. So here you have the support. Yes. You can do both. You can do large group, small group, one-on-one. And again, you have the software. So this is the Max Scholar software. Oh, by the way, has everybody signed in? 3 have it. So here, so here is Max Phonics. Again, this is the only blended program that has everything. So here is Max Phonics.
Try touching.
Oh, okay.
No.
So here, this is pre-K, where they just learn to read, write, don't put it on. And, or do you want to hear the song?
Sure.
Okay. So let's go to PFNT&A. Okay. Because music affects the whole brain. Is the audio on?
Then that wheel behind
By the
you.
speaker.
Look at volume.
Makes the sound. Drive with your finger in the air, like this. Down, up and around. Down, up, down. Around. This is the letter F. Makes the sound. Right with your finger in the air,
And they all start singing.
like this.
Everybody.
Across, down, across. First, choose
So
an
it has
exercise.
all the songs, but we're going to go back to Max Phonics and you'll learn how to maneuver.
Select a word to start.
So here is
First, choose an
what
exercise.
we've done.
Now, choose a letter.
So just to show you,
This is the letter F,
so it's a visual drill.
like fox. It makes the sound.
Notice how we show the lip movements too, that's part of lip
Now
movement.
let's try saying it together.
So we're gonna,
You say it.
I'm just
We
gonna
will now do
skip
sky
to the
writing.
tactile and
Watch
just to
the
show you,
airplane
you can
as
put
it
them on
writes the letter in
software,
the
what
sky.
you want them to work on too.
Half around, down, and across. Half around, down, and across. Now it's time for you to practice writing the letter in the sand. Using your
hold it?
finger or the mouse.
Go half around. What do you do with it? Half around, down, and across. Let's erase it. So this is how you'll erase it because you're going to.
Now it's time for you to practice writing the letter in the sand.
Down.
Using your finger or the mouse cursor, write the letter on the screen.
And they love that, by the way. And then they have the phonemic awareness.
Now it's time. Half
Here
around,
they write it on paper,
down,
and you can have them write it on
and
paper.
across.
And then they have the vocab. Do you have L students here? This is great with your L's too.
Let's go on to the next letter.
So I'm going to skip. When you go to the microphone,
Type the letter that makes
so
the
here's your
sound,
sound drill.
as in taxi. Good job. Type the letter that makes the sound as in nurse.
So that was wrong.
Nurse.
It won't let us go ahead.
Good job. Type the letter that makes the sound as in
So if they've
Fox.
done the visual, auditory, tactile, kinesthetic,
type the letter
They're
Now it
able
is
to
time
go
for you.
to the sound blending. So come up here and tap it for me. So
Now you try it yourself.
No,
Ah.
Okay, try this one. We're gonna wait.
Mmm.
Let's go
And. Now you try it yourself.
Good. Okay, try another one. Now wait till the next one.
At.
So that's getting
Now
this
you try it yourself.
going, graphing. So if you have a slower reader, you just keep going to the back arrow and have
Now
them
it is
keep
time for
doing
you.
it. Because they might need 100 times. Otherwise,
Now I want you to try reading.
here they
And.
read it spontaneously, and there's a lot of drill with that.
Now I want you to try
Here you
reading
have
some
your word per
words
minute.
using the letters and
They can
sounds you have
practice.
just learned.
You have to be the
Some
one
words
to
are
try.
real and some are not.
And.
So first, it visually tracks it for them, so they can practice, and if they need to practice it more, you go back to it. Here they
Now
get
it is
three
your turn to
turns
read the words
with
that
a
you have
60-minute
just learned.
timer.
Click Start and then read the list from left to right, starting on the top row.
So
Read
they
the words
and,
out loud as
but if
fast
it's a
as you can.
beginning reader,
If you
don't
finish
go
before
fluent.
1 minute is up, start
Stay
again at
with
the top
blending
left.
first. So app, pat, tap, nap, that, tap, pan, and you can put them in groups through cooperative learning where they work together, because the Orton Society does not like the computer to grade it. They want that teacher to take that minute. Because you can say, oh wow, look how many words you're reading on September 10th versus June 10th.
So does each child have
Now
a
it is your turn to
Each
read the
child has
words
a
that you have
username
just
and
learned.
password.
Click Start and then read the list.
So they
Now
get
it
3
is your turn
tries
to
on
read the
this.
words that you have.
And
Now
then,
it's
and that's the
A.
beauty of it, you have your lesson plan. So here's your sight words, and
Now
what
you
color
try
are
it
they
yourself.
in? And what does that discriminate? That they,
And.
red words, good, that they memorize these. 'cause
Now you
can't
try it
sound
yourself.
And then the last step is
Let's
the
try to
control
read a
reader,
Nat and Pat.
which has all of the
Now you try it
PFNTA
yourself.
words. So, now we are going to break up
A
into
nap
groups.
for Nat.
And
Now you try
the
it
next
yourself.
step would be the comprehension part of Orton Gillingham and the Max Scholar. So, any questions?
Yeah, I
Sophie?
have a question. So do you teach one letter a week?
No,
No, so you're, in 1 week, you're teaching 5 letters?
it depends on the child. We introduce it and we always review it. But you would introduce, it just depends on your group. Some might need, 3 letters, 2 letters in 1 week. Some could handle the 4 consonants in a short vowel. But it's not 1 letter a week like in your preschools. It is not. You're introducing it in this order. And the order, which I'll give you the book, is PFNTA, SRCKE, BGNLI, DVGJLO.
And how long do you stay on that? Maybe 2 weeks or?
About 2 weeks till they get it, because if they really get it, I mean, I even heard some people, which is normal because we're not taught, mispronounce the short vowel. And that happens in a lot of schools, so what you're doing when you're, and this computer helps you, what you're doing is you're teaching them to read by sight. And then by 3rd grade, for a spontaneous reader is a spontaneous reader. But I even see in this area, because we are in schools, children who are very bright, but reading very slowly and have not mastered the sounds. And for the bright child, if they don't get it right away, guess what? They don't like to read. They'll do mazes, they'll do puzzles, they'll do Legos, but they don't want to read, because the brighter you are, you're used to things coming easier, you avoid things that you don't do well. So I am telling you that if they get this background, it'll be pretty amazing. So I am going to have, and then we go into the comprehension, where you'll see we do first language on the K level, and then we do on Prep 3 and 4. How many of you have had the Mac and Tab books? from EPS, a lot of controlled readers, but we highlight them. Why we highlight is because it develops visual memory, and for some reason our kids are going up like 2 grade levels in spelling. Because by having the kinesthetic of the highlighting and discriminating what's a sight word, which you don't highlight, to a real word, they get better in spelling and focus as well. So Dr. Elliott, I want to say, you can't forget our names because we're a team, both Levy. So he's going to come with, Mr. Martin will join this group, and Mr. Martin's also part of, you want to say something? He is the literacy coach in the New York City DOE, and you can just tell about your results.
Not in the whole DOE, just at my school.
PS 75, right.
So yeah, been Max Scholar, my school for 2 years now. Last September, I had never heard of it, and kind of my principal just kind of introduced me to Dr. Levy and said, okay, try to make something work with this because we've got some licenses. So I was working in a few different classes, and I got as many kids on as I could handle by myself because no other teachers really wanted to touch it yet. And right away we had some pretty great results, just in that there were kids who were not readers, were then interested in reading because it was something different, it was online, it was, the texts are relevant and interesting, and a lot of the kids that I have this year are now on their 2nd year with Max Scholar, and they were, I had them in 4th grade, and they were beginning 3rd grade readers of level M, use fonts now. And now they're at benchmark for end of 5th grade. I just finished assessments, so they're reading about U and V right now.
And
So
these are basic skills,
Yeah.
and L students who never bumped up.
And they work at home, they work during the summer, they show their parents how the program works, and every morning I have to like fight kids off to, I only have 15 laptops and I can't get all 25 kids on, so I'm like, no, not today, tomorrow, I promise, and you can go on today. So it's been really great.
Yeah, his principal's over the moon because these kids never bumped up. So, and for the children who do well, they like go up like 2-3 grade levels. They just zoom up. But you know, let's face it, technology is here. You have 1st grade, you have 1-year-olds, and they're already on devices. When kids come home, they want to go on their iPads. So we are finding that the software is easier to maneuver and to hold their focus than actually a teacher. So we aren't going to be replaced, but what you're learning is a blended model. So this group with Nick and I will be doing the Max Phonics. So now we're going to log in, and this group is going to be doing the Max Reading, and then we're going to switch. And how are we going to pass it out?
I noticed that the sound comes through the computer. It's a little bit annoying to get to the different levels for each.
So everybody write down their username and
If any of you have
password.
headphones that you brought
So your
with you,
username is
please
going to be
feel free
admit
to
and
I will look at it. Okay, if you can borrow them, that would be good too. Yeah, that would be great. Just because everyone's going to be at a different stage, and there's going to be a little competition.
right now.
There's 15.
No, everybody has to have their own. Is this your class?
Okay, to log in, the website address is Max Scholar, Dr. Deborah, do you have?
We're going to have to just give them those usernames that we made up.
I
Teacher.
gave you the list.
Yeah, but we don't have the kindergarten.
Should be 3. There should be there.
No, just give them the username and passwords, and they don't have to waste theirs now.
Okay.
We'll start
We
here.
just created a group of members.
Okay, where's the kindergarten? Who has the kindergarten? Oh, we found it. Here's kindergarten. Oh, is this for today? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read it off. Janet Biggins, is she here?
Right here. Yes.
Okay, so What's the password though?
Most of it's the same.
Is it the same, J Biggins, username and password?
Try that. I didn't create.
Try that, so try J Biggins.
If that doesn't work,
What's the
then I have
password?
another.
Max Scholar, maxscholar.com. Bueno, Jean, where are you? Okay, so it's J Bueno. Yeah.
Our normal password?
No.
Yeah.
Danielle Giordano, is she here? Okay, so it's D Giordano.
And tell me if that works.
See if you got it.
Yeah, it should. Is this internet work?
Is there anything like
Yeah, that's all.
Shawl, Christine Hall is Shawl,
The
Chall.
ones that have, for those of you who have a computer that has Google Chrome.
Okay, so let's just, we're gonna do, is it teacher, 1, 2, 3, what were they?
No, this doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work.
Okay, so that's not. We've created a series of usernames and passwords we can use.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to assign, it's demo, D-E-M-O, and then a number after. So you're demo 1, demo 2, demo 3, demo 4, demo 5, Jane, demo 6, 7, 8, 9,
10.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Okay,
So
so
it's
your
demo
demo,
1 and the username is that?
no, she wasn't.
Are we using our
Password?
No, you're just doing
No,
demo
use this.
and a number.
And a number.
for both login and password?
Yes. We try to keep it very simple. When it gets to the students, it's a little, we give them names that are more appropriate for them, but for the sake of the.
It's not working.
Mine is.
No, not working. Okay, you're in. Okay, everybody in?
And I'm demo 99, so you should have this screen with your number, demo 1, demo 2, whatever we assign.
So this is going to be the
So
final.
tell me if you're not
You'll be
there.
working.
No, it just says
welcome.
Okay, so in the upper right-hand corner, it says login. You see that?
No, it says log out.
We're locked in.
We're logged in, but it doesn't say.
And I'm going to need to
You're
select.
okay, you're okay, everyone on this side is okay.
Okay, so Nick?
Yeah.
So let's go through
Okay.
the Max
Yep, so
Sonic.
fine.
We're all
This is
in,
right,
right?
yeah.
We're good?
Yeah, okay.
And
This
see
is,
how it
this is
follows
what
the
we
book.
call, this is what we call our main screen, or it's called MyMax. So MyMax is like the home page, and that if you're lost and you don't know what to do, hit MyMax and it takes you right here. And then you can re-enter it at any place. Excuse me, I have laryngitis on the weekends. Dr. Deborah, please answer a question that always comes up. The first session, how long should it be?
For the child,
For the teacher with the group?
with the group, at least 30 minutes, 45. And he's going to show you how to do the comprehension now with the,
Wait a minute, we can do comprehension?
yeah, but you're going to do it with your group and I'll do it. Do we have headsets?
She's someone.
Do we have headsets?
They're getting them right now.
Okay, so now I want to give you the cards.
Do you want to?
So I'm going to introduce comprehension to you first, and then we're going to actually break up into groups.
Right. So, as you can see, the program that she showed you on the computer is exactly the same as the program she showed you 10 minutes previously, using the materials that traditionally Orton Gillingham uses. It gets very cumbersome for the teachers. They always lose things. They can't figure out what to do next. So she had the brilliant idea 7 years ago is to convert it all to electronic format. So what you're seeing is exactly the same, except it uses modern technology.
Okay, so this part, because the last part of the lesson plan is always comprehension. Because you just don't want to do decoding without integrating it, and you want to first do controlled readers, a lot of it, but then you want to get into general reading. So it goes K to 12, but when you get your usernames and passwords for your students, it goes to whatever grade they're in, and they get a pretest. It places them, and then you have an administrative license where you see what they're doing, and you can unlock as they progress the way you want it. So let's start with the K level, prep 1. And let's just take ice skating. And I need a volunteer. So I'm going to have you come up. Tell me your name again. I'm going to know all your names before we're done.
Linda.
Linda. So here you will all get a list of these. And these are what we call structure words to start forming visual images and a movie. So come on up, Linda. And you can do this as a guided reading, and they can also practice it. So what do you see in this picture, Linda?
A girl skating.
A girl skating. And where do you think this is taking place? You can make up anything.
At a lake.
At a lake. And when and what time of the year do you think it is?
Winter.
Okay. And I want you to start forming images. And what kind of movement does she have? Help me, group. Do you think she's
Graceful.
graceful? Okay, and what perspective? Do you think she's having fun or having fun? Okay. So now, Linda, turn around, close your eyes, and I want you to make a movie and tell me a story of what you saw so you can see pictures or a movie. So about this. Close your eyes.
I see a girl skating on a lake, and she's happy and alone.
Very good. Did you see a movie?
I did.
Okay, great. So as a group, you're getting them to form visual pictures. Like, how many of you have heard of visualizing and verbalizing? So you have like 1,000 of these to do and to practice. And then we introduce, thank you, Linda, you're terrific. We introduce a topic, a main idea, a detail, and a conclusion. So you have a read aloud, which is over here, but we need
What is the topic
we need
of this
headphones to
picture?
break up into groups.
Ice skating,
And again, it's
high
not a
jumping,
robot reading, it was actual
roller
person.
skating,
So what's the topic?
running,
Come up and touch it. So the topic we teach them is 1 or 2 words. You are correct. Okay. Visualizing it first. You want to get them to start visualizing, and there's plenty of text. Okay. What is the main idea of this picture? Who can come up?
Does it, like, if the kids have headphones on, will it read it to them?
Right there.
what is the main idea of this picture?
You are
The
correct. So
girl is
it's
ice
teaching them.
skating on the ice.
The main idea is a
It
sentence.
is
The
a
topic is 1 or 2
cloudy
words.
day.
You'll see how this blends
Ice
into the rest of the
skating
program.
is a dangerous sport. The sun is out.
Okay. So then it goes to details and to predictions.
Finish this.
I'm just going to go back.
Finish this. Finish this.
That's okay. And they get a score. I'm going to have them do each one. Okay. So we always go back to my max, where I'm max reading, where I'm K. And I just want to show you how we go into prep 3, where they're starting to see text. So which vowels are those? Megan the Jet, what's the vowel? Short vowel? Short E, F, good. So the first step, and we do always in steps, is they read the text and say, okay, got it. We can make the font bigger, but just to save time, let's all read it together. Meg goes on a jet. The jet is red. The jet goes up in the sky. She sees Tim on the plane. They have fun on the jet. They do not want the ride to end. So now we click OK Next. And we have to highlight the topic in blue the main idea, which was that sentence that supports, or that phrase, the topic, and the details in yellow. So I need a volunteer. I'm going to ask you to come up. Yes, come on up.
No, I don't.
And you're going to do the topic. So what's this about? A jet.
Double sentence.
No, it's one word. Just tap it. Okay, and you don't scroll it, you touch it. So
if
it's
you're
jet.
using- if you're
And
using
you
the
come
mouse,
up and-
you left click.
Yeah, and on your computer, you'll left click. What about the jet? What's the main idea? Click on main idea. And it's within it, it's a phrase.
Also, I get to.
But don't scroll, just touch it. So Meg is going on the jet, and we're gonna find out what
Is
happens.
that read to them as well?
Yes, there is a read aloud.
Are they get to say like blue, pick your topic?
No, they learn that right.
You learn that in your guided reading. You don't just
you.
send them, you do it first as a group like we're doing. Come up for the details, and you come up as well. Tell me your name again. Okay, so now we're gonna click important details. Notice there's an eraser. And we're gonna only click on real words. So what color is the jet? Okay. Red, and click jet red. Notice we're not doing thine is, because thine is our what? Sight words, okay. Come on up. And then you come up and you three come up.
I'm trying to figure out, you know what I'm trying to do? How do you highlight it on the screen? I'm trying to highlight it.
We'll do that next.
We're gonna do that next.
By the way, so what Dr. Deborah is doing right
So
now
click jet.
is exactly how you
No,
introduce
it's already
this
there.
in the
Jet
classroom.
goes
You
up.
have the children close to the smart board.
Guy.
You call on
Okay.
them one at a time.
Oh.
Use the read aloud, don't use the read aloud.
Okay, you three come up.
And before you tell them, you have to feel that they know that.
Tim,
Some learn quicker than others.
Blaine,
This is
sight words.
exactly how the lesson works.
When you click run,
No, not sight, no, lesson fun.
Before.
On
If you have
jet.
two separate concepts. One is learning, the other is the
you
sounds.
know what I just tell the words when you
do
short
right.
phrases first.
And this is really,
And,
really.
Okay, then you click
Not
done.
too well, and that's okay.
Okay, and did you see that you got 100%? And now you go to the question. So what's the main idea? Everybody. Meg goes on a jet. You can always go back to text. They love getting these stars. They can scaffold up. What color is a jet? Who remembers?
Red.
Red. And if I don't remember, I go back. It's highlighted. And then we go to how are Meg and Tim alike?
They're both on the jet.
Both on the jet. Smart group, Miss Marianne. So I've got 3 stars, and this is, you know, we developed this with Paul Tuff, who wrote How Children Succeed. Because you want them to develop grit. Why do they not want the ride to end? What?
Having fun.
Having fun. And then we go to a vocabulary word. What does jet mean? Plane. And then they get their score. And you see, this is for executive function. We're always labeling the steps. So they love that A+. As a teacher, if they rush through it, they can redo the chapter. You'll see we do outlines and summaries as they go on to higher levels, to level 2. And otherwise, they go to the next chapter.
Is it okay if I give like a little bit of advice that I figured out pretty quickly? And so I usually tell the kids that they're going to be awful at highlighting, like when they first start, because you don't know what you're doing, you don't exactly know what the program is looking for. So almost like 90% of the time, the topic, what is blue, is the title of the chapter. So if you're, especially for the nonfiction text, if you're reading about Oprah Winfrey, then the topic is going to be Oprah Winfrey. And it's usually in the first or second sentence of the whole passage. And then green, the main idea, tells who or what about the topic. So you've got the topic, what is this whole thing about? The main idea is who or what about him or her or it. And then everything else is a detail. So there's only 1 or 2 words that will ever be blue. There's only 1 short phrase that will ever be green. And then everything else in the whole passage will be yellow. So, because a lot of times the kids will be, every time they see jet, they'll make it blue. So they'll have jet highlighted blue 6 times, and then they'll get a score, and they'll get, the topic will be like 20%. It's because you only highlight the topic 1 time, not every time.
Okay, so now,
The other fact that we should think about, the way we've set it up is we realize that the children have a hard time with the idea. So we made it easy for them. They just have to click in that sentence, usually towards the very left, and then the whole phrase lights up. That way they don't have to worry about which word, only in main idea.
and remember the A makes it bigger. Here is always your read aloud. If you want to develop fluency, they can read this like 5 times with the read aloud before they start to highlight. And you might say, why do we, in Lindemoog and Bell, you want them to get the gestalt of what it's about. So we make it easy to start, and then it gets harder as they go on. But here at the top, why do we go like that rather than like that? It activates the frontal lobe of the brain, and it gets them to focus better. And remember I told you it also helps with their spelling, because color, I don't know how many of you remember Erlen lenses. Somehow color does affect visual memory. Visual memory is the hardest thing to develop, and it's totally inherent in spelling. If you're a poor speller, you need it, it's because you have a poor visual memory. So that's why we do it that way rather than this way. Okay, so now we're going to break up into this group. This group is going to do the Max Phonics. So I want everybody to go to a K level, including Mary Ann. We need to get Mary Ann on.
You know, we could actually have the reading comprehension order. You have.
But I want everybody to try it.
Yeah, we got it, okay. What you've seen is the group section, and that's great, but as soon as the teacher feels that the child is ready, so what we're going to do now is a simulation in which I'm going to play teacher and all of you are going to play students, and then we're going to
Okay, so then
reverse,
everybody can
and we'll call
go
in each
right
of you
now
to
so
play
we get it to
teacher,
Max.
so that you can experience what you have to do. It seems intimidating because there's so much there, but it's quite simple, but until you've done it yourself.
Yes, let's go to prep 1.
We'll show you this one.
Go to the K level. Everybody go to
So
K level.
Let me work with these 5 teachers right here.
Okay, you can get these people on.
Okay. So what I think we'll do is everyone go, Dr. Deborah, do you want me to do this? Dr. Deborah? Just prep 1.
Prep 1, we're going to do 1 of the K level, prep 1, 1 prep 3, 1 level 1, and 1 level 2.
Okay, so let's go to my Max.
Where's my question? What are questions?
Max
So this
review.
yeah, but actually this is the part where you
And the K level.
you have the card.
We'll start with